Okay, let's dive into it. This is one of those triggery questions. How do you know when to go harder? When do you push harder? And when is that just a bad strategy? Like you're swimming upstream, you're pushing too hard, you're not allowing for the ease. And how do you discern those things? So, this is one of the things that I brought up in a previous episode when I started to lay out the 10 things that I did to 5 times my income in 1 year. So, if you're interested in that full list, please go back and listen to that episode. And I said I would do a deeper dive into this item. One of the items that I outlined was I did the hard things, right? I did the hard things in my business. I didn't run away. I didn't hide under the covers. I did them as quickly as I could, and I did them. Now, that doesn't mean I was perfect in this respect. It doesn't mean that it was easy. It doesn't mean that I always did them super, super quickly. I learned how to do it quicker and quicker because that's one of the keys to success. And I knew that. But here's the thing. There are things in your business when you're scaling, when you're going for growth, that are going to be hard. And there is a time to challenge yourself, will yourself into the level of focus that's required to go do the thing that's challenging. That's where your breakthrough is going to be. Doing things the same way all the time is not going to be where your breakthrough is. You need to stretch yourself and learn and grow and do more. Now, there's a time when you need to allow for the receiving and the opening and downtime and the grace of receiving, if you will. And you need to know the difference about when it's time to push through, when it's time to go hard, if you will, and when it's time to step back and say, this isn't working right now. I need to do something different. And this is about integrating the masculine and the feminine. Our masculine side is really driven, that kind of go hard, and the feminine side is not without action, just so you know, but it's about a different kind of action. It's a attraction, a pulling, a receiving, rather than a directed out action out there. It's more, maybe perhaps more nuanced, and it's more about magnetism and allowing versus a constant push energy. It's a receiving or a pull energy. So you need both. That's the rub, guys. You need both. It's not one without the other. So I'm sorry, I cannot say always do this or always do that. That would be, logically that's not the case. You go hard for too long, you're going to hit burnout. You go hard for too long and you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to wear yourself out. All the other things in your life will be limited, and you're not going to like that. That said, there's a time where you think you're at your capacity and you go into the complaint, and you might be tempted to take the gas off the pedal and pull back. And it's actually the time where you need to do the thing and actually break through and not retreat. Other times, that continuous action in that kind of driven, compulsive way is not what's going to move the needle for you. You're going to need to step back and have some time to look at things from a different perspective and really rejuvenate how you are approaching things. Now, ultimately, you want to get into a place where you are integrating the masculine and the feminine into everything that you're doing. That it's not either or. It's not like, okay, this is when I go hard and this is where I step back and allow myself to receive. It's both at the same time. It's how do you build your business, grow your business, take the action in your business from this delighted, lit up, receptive, responsive place, not from a place of just being a doing person, but being a being person as well. And you need the doing. It's not that you don't want to do the doing, but you need to balance that. And then you get to a place where it's not that stressful energy. Okay. You're going to be working quickly. There's some intensity to it, but it feels good, not depleting. And that's a really big discernment piece. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to learn discernment, and you need to learn discernment around so many different things, but primarily around, like, is this depleting my energy or building my energy right now? Okay. Have I overdone it, or do I actually just need to do the thing? Okay. It's not a one size fits all answer. Okay. So you need to understand, do I need to take more action here? Like, is this a place where I'm avoiding doing the hard thing? And in which case you need to move towards the resistance and do the hard thing. If you're someone who's already kind of workaholic or addicted to work, you probably need to learn how to step back a little bit. Okay. And not push so hard. And if you don't know when to take a break, the chances are you do need a break. You need something that's going to allow you to come back to yourself and feel more whole and in your beingness rather than just in the action. That's our ideal state. Now, if you're someone who actually avoids doing the work, you know that there are things that you're doing, and you get busy by cleaning out your closet or emptying the dishwasher, or the dog really needs to be taken on a walk, or I'd rather do the thing with my kid than this hard thing in my business. It's not that those things aren't important in our lives. Okay. All of those things, especially your kids, are important in your life. But if you use them to distract yourself from doing the more challenging things, you need to get more structure in your life. You need to get more discipline in your life. All of those are in the go harder category, the more masculine, if you will. You need to not give up on yourself so quickly. Okay. You need to push yourself a little bit more, challenge yourself a little bit more to see if you can do it. And here's the thing. You won't become more. You won't be able to work at a higher level. You won't be able to earn an income at a higher level unless you challenge yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be exhausted. That doesn't mean that you have to be burnt out. Okay. You need to look and see what kinds of adjustments you need to make, and be honest and transparent with yourself. You'll only grow your income as much as you grow yourself. And if you're not someone yet who is challenging herself, I would ask you to challenge yourself a little bit more, right? Push the edge a little bit. See if you can do it. Move through the hard bits. Okay. Now, can you do that without the physical tension in your body, without this mental, emotional tension in your body? That's where I'd love to get you to. Okay. So the other thing to know here is that these kinds of adjustments or discernment times are not one and done. You don't figure it out for yourself and then miraculously you can stay at the same level forevermore. There are outside circumstances that come in. There are things that shift, and you need to give yourself the grace, the space to respond appropriately, to respond accordingly. There's no perfect balance point. This idea of balance, work-life balance, for instance, is a freaking myth. There are always things that you need to adjust to. Are you going to become the person who knows how to discern and make those adjustments? Okay. The other thing that I want to give you here is that there are only 3 reasons that things are hard for you in your business. Okay. So if something is hard, like if you need to do that thing where I'm saying you need to do the thing, but you're saying, but Amira, it's so hard. There's only 3 reasons that you're creating the hardness here. One is that you've never done it before. So you don't have the skill set yet to do it. And so it becomes this hard thing. Well, there's obviously a number of ways to do this. One, you can learn from someone, you can build your skill sets a little bit at a time, but you still need to start, or you can just jump right in. But fundamentally, skill set is mindset, because mindset allows you to be someone who builds her skill set quickly. Okay. If you've never spoken on stage before, you don't have the skill set there. And so you're going to think that's really hard. If you've never had a sales call, you don't have the skill set there. So you're going to think that's really hard. If you've never done a Facebook Live, you don't have the skill set there. So you're going to think that's really hard. If you've never hired a COO or a CFO, you're not going to have the skill set there. So you might think that that's hard. You need to build your skill set and you need to build your mindset at the same time. Okay, second reason, you're up against your self-image. Your self-image is what limits you from seeing what's possible for you, what you could do, and what you don't think is possible for you. It limits your belief about what's available for you. So that creates what is called a terror barrier. That's an inside feeling that makes doing the thing that's right in front of you so hard. It's like all the stuff comes up. Who am I to do that? How am I going to do that? That's not for me. I'm going to fail. All that stuff. That's all the emotional noise that's coming up from the terror barrier. That's going to stop you, and by making it insurmountable, making it so hard. And then the other thing that you need to know about in terms of why things are hard is that people have addictions to things being hard. That's their set point. This has everything to do with your self-image as well. Okay, that's a set point. And at any income level, you will make it hard. At any income level, you will make it hard. And this looks like overwhelm, confusion, never enough time, not good enough, all of that stuff, team letting you down. That's an addiction to hard. Okay, so in summary, to break through, to have your income breakthrough, sometimes you have to do hard things. And in order to do hard things, you need to get your mindset right. This includes changing your self-image, okay? And you need to do it anyway. You need to move towards the resistance, okay, and do it anyway. This is one of the key success strategies. And remember, how are diamonds made? Through pressure. They are coal that's put under pressure. There is always going to be tension in the growth. You need to learn discernment so you know when it's time to put yourself under that tension and that pressure, and when it's time to step back and say, actually, that's a little bit too much right now. I need to take some space, but then you get right back at it, okay? And you learn how to be someone who integrates the masculine and the feminine so that you can walk through the day taking the action. Action is both masculine and feminine, but being driven, being someone who goes past their limitations, but in a way that lights you up and is delightful and feels good and you're in the flow. Okay. Otherwise, guess what happens? You keep saying you want something and you live a life of regret. And I don't want that for you guys. You guys want to be unstoppable. This is how you do it. Okay, I'm Amira Alvarez. I'm the founder and CEO of The Unstoppable Woman. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for sharing this with your friends. Thanks for liking it and putting it on social media and helping us get the word out about the Unstoppable Woman community. So glad to have you in the community, and go be unstoppable. Mwah. Take care. Bye.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us and being part of the Unstoppable Woman movement. We have got a ton of free resources for scaling your business at theunstoppablewoman.com/free stuff. And you can find that link in the description below. So go ahead and check those out. And we'd also love your help in getting our message out to more and more women. If you'd be willing to share this video with all the unstoppable women in your life, that would be fantastic. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Reviews, likes, and comments are greatly appreciated. We go in and read them all. So thank you for those, and thanks for listening, and be unstoppable.